Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Kindred. Sorry for the brief break that we took, but you'll find that Dom and I have been absolutely swamped in the real world. But with the recent news from I typically say leaks, but the actual reveals we've gotten from Adepticon for Leagues of Votann and otherwise, we wanted to make sure we could take some time and do a quick little episode. Talk about how things are shaping up lately, how some of the new things are looking, and maybe ways that we can be excited moving forward. So we hope you're ready to join us for a bit of yapping.
It is funny. Whoever the leaker is at Games Workshop, like, wow, like nailing it lately. Not even lately, probably the last year or so, I would say. Just like things are just coming true.
We've had pretty adequate amounts of.
Do you think it's
hey,
like
this is
inside job,
gentle enough to keep me interested? And a lot of the stuff, they were guessing. My favorite was the crossbow, right? So in the Games Workshop does a thing if you don't follow their social media, but they do a post where they do a potential little spoiler image of the day, right? Where they show you something that hasn't yet come out. And one of the longest running ones was this picture of a crossbow. And people were torn all over the place. A lot of them swore it's a Kroot. We're going to have a crossbow. It's going to be a Kroot.
Or fantasy.
Crazy thing.
I thought fantasy.
Or fantasy, right? It would have been perfect with the new Bretonnians or any of the new humans that are coming out. But no, it was one of these amazing Jaegerists? Jaegers? Is that the name we got for them?
I think Yaegir. I think so.
Yeah. I think Jaegerist is Attack on Titan. But Jaegers, they look awesome. The new dwarf models. If you haven't, I don't want to get us too sidetracked too early, but.
Well, no, we're going to get into it anyway. Well, actually, before we get too deep, I do want to give one quick shout out, if you don't mind.
Throw it out.
Sweet Lou, everyone's favorite Texan. He has a new podcast himself.
Hell yeah.
It is called, I should have had it ready. Now I feel terrible. Is it Down Under not Down Under. Lone Star. Oh my goodness. I'm going to die. I feel so fucking terrible right now.
You're fine.
Sweet Lou has a new, video, YouTube podcast. He said,
we'll rep our boy.
Yeah, listen. Big fan of Sweet Lou. Sweet Lou is a sweet dude, hence the name.
Great guy, great player.
Lone Star Hammered. That's right. They drink fancy booze.
Nice.
While they have people on, and it's really nice. Yeah. I just wanted to give him a quick shout out because he is a great dude, great player. Still been killing it. Fun fact. In Votann world down in the South. I said down under. What is it? Fucking Australia? What? Sorry, yes. But it's okay. I do want to get right into the Jaegers, and we could talk about us personal stuff after, because I feel like this is one thing that has made me excited on Votann recently, when, quite frankly, I haven't been as excited, unfortunately.
That's fair. It's been an interesting section of things, right? Where the game itself has been balanced, but I think I myself felt a little burnt out for a period of time. I was getting so much Warhammer in, and I can't speak for anyone who might be listening, but I'm one of those folks that I hyper focus. So when I have something I'm built on, I am all in. So when I started with Votann, I bought the entire range. So I'm talking 3 of everything. I had max of everything, and I painted all of it. I painted the full range. And then I was like, oh God. Okay, maybe I bit off too much to chew there.
Don't you think 120 warriors or something?
Yeah, I had 120 warriors. Yeah, a bit too many.
That's fine.
Listen, and then they made it so you can only take 10. Now I just have 60 in a bucket. It's all right.
It's fine. Maybe
I'll tell you, these models.
And for when you're watching this, I'll have them. I'll have an image.
I can do one better.
Oh, wow.
Right up.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So, okay. Squad cast. Nice.
When I see these getting thrown out here, the Jaegers from Adepticon, these models are incredible.
Dude.
Cool. I was already a huge simp for the Pioneers, right? I don't know if anyone watching, if you've ever seen my Pioneers, but I love the great coats. It's one of the things that I spent a bunch of extra time. I love the whole aesthetic of it. It's perfect.
Agreed.
And each of these guys having a coat, the shotgun on this guy, the sniper here.
I do like this camo cloak type deal with the sniper.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah.
It's got me thinking, are we going to see squads? Are some of these going to be lone op potential? Are these just going to be our scout parallel?
It is hard to tell because of kill team crossover to 40k. The rules could literally be anything, anyone's game. It could be 5-man, it could be 10-man. You could maybe take them in 5-mans. Maybe there are 10-mans, but like for every one, you could add a sniper, you could add a melee or the demo charge or whatever that could be.
It makes me excited, similar to how Warriors kind of let you kit build them to how you want, but like this dual wielding knife one, the shotgun one, the combination over here with the bombs, if we can get some crazy kind of mine unit, or this lovely guy that I can only hope is the sergeant right here at the bottom left that has the power knife and the big old blaster shotgun on the other hand.
Yeah, that looks about right.
I don't even know what this other gun is.
That is,
I'm excited.
They called it the multi-use rocket launcher or something like that. I really hope it's something with like anti-monster keyword or something like that, because we have no
adaptive payload missile launcher.
Right. That's got to be something where maybe it's like you choose your maybe it's like one version is anti-monster, one version anti-vehicle, one version anti-infantry. That would be tight. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Either way, it has me very excited because I can't wait to paint some of those. What about you?
I think I'm very excited because if the rumors are true, they are an infiltrating Votann unit,
which we needed.
Which we need bad because one of our biggest hiccups, especially if you're playing a scout based list with lots of Sagittars, lots of bikes. So not everyone does that. Some people are doing Thunderkins, people are doing hecatons, which now I think now that we're in this post data slate world, kind of anything is viable because not everything is great, in my opinion. And we'll get into that a little bit after this. But if you are taking a heavy, like I was doing 5 Sagittar, 5 Sagittar, 12 bike list where 6, 3, and 3. Oh yeah. I mean, your paint job is great.
Just to show my love of these coats, but please continue. I just want to throw something up in the background.
No. I want no, they're so good, dude. I do love your black dome helmets.
Yeah.
With the what is that? What is this supposed to be like a rune on top, or is it just like effect?
Like them, my desired effect, right? So I paint them all black, but if I pull up
your Ironkin helmet, everyone Ironkin is so good.
Like,
and the cats too. Here. Respect.
This is one of my favorite guys. So I tried to make it look like a plasma ball, like the little things you'd get and you touch and lightning comes out. So it looks like they're all powered a little bit. So up close, it's not as telling, but when I have a bunch of guys, like with my Thunderkin, I try and make it look like, there's some light coming out of them.
It's so good.
The fact that in the Adepticon showing, they gave me an Ironkin all ready to go here. Oh,
well, look, he even has like a similar deal going on too.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool.
But I think with this unit, my hope is infiltrating. My real hope is that they're kind of like Orc Commandos, either 5 or 10-man. I really hope they can go to 5-man because that would be just we need cheap scoring units, which we just don't have. It's very frustrating in the army.
And I think we had talked about that in previous episodes too, where that's one of the things where we don't have it and Votann needs it.
Bad.
Yeah.
And so I think with this army, I think 2 things. One, I think for a kill team, this box comes out. I think what I heard was roughly July-ish, maybe August, because we're still waiting on some boxes that were announced forever ago. And one of my friends who's big in the kill team who does Goonhammer reviews or write-ups, I don't know, he does something for Goonhammer. He was saying like usually this is like the time period that things come out, and he was guessing probably like July or so. But just because the kill team comes out in July doesn't mean that our rules. First of all, we're not guaranteed rules at all for 40k, which is
that's
like a scary thing.
Kick in the feet for me.
Yes, like for all we know, we can. I feel like this has to go to 40k. Like this, I would be very surprised if these don't get rules 40k. I would be very surprised. My hope is roughly our codex. We have no idea. I would love if it came out in the fall. It's probably realistically be winter. My hope is we get the rules before that, but I really think that we won't get rules for this until the codex comes out.
This is a quick aside, but it's something I've been reading a lot on the competitive Warhammer Reddit and in a few Discords, but I've seen traction on people saying that Games Workshop should do what they did for Dark Eldar. And for all the factions that aren't going to have a codex for like another year,
they should
give us another detachment.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's one of the things that for me as a Votann player, has hurt the most. Because it's all just exactly the same still. We've been in for like a year now. They nerfed the detachment. They didn't make the detachment more interesting. You can still only play the army like one way. It's like, well, that's fine, but it's lost a bit of luster, and it's harder to keep playing it. And I know both of us, we've been distracted by another army, and we can talk about that later, but it's just been hard to stick with it. And I'm hoping they give us something, because Votann has so much potential. In 9th, every single faction was different. It gave you something completely unique to do.
Yes.
So I hope they do it. So if anyone's out there, throw some extra logs on the fire to that idea. GW, give us a detachment.
Yeah, especially the armies that have so few units. Votann, World Eaters, Thousand Suns, Harlequins. Sorry, they don't exist anymore, but you know what I mean? Like armies that have like sub 15 units you could field. I think the thing about what gets me excited, though, besides the possibility of this unit fulfilling a void that Votann is missing, is the fact that we see their plasma knives. Now, these plasma knives that they have are different than the melee knives that our warriors have, right?
They are.
And so even though those knives are strength 5, AP 2, 2 damage, 2 attacks each, which is awesome. A lot of people love taking melee warriors. They are fairly good marine killers. What's cool about these... Oh, what's up, Cat? What's cool about these is that the funny thing about Pioneers is they have a named melee weapon. It's bad, but it's plasma knife. And it's just strength, I think it's strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage, like 1 attack or 2 attacks maybe. It's not good. But what gets me excited, though, is that those knives are very distinct. They look bigger. I really hope that with the Codex refresh, Pioneers have a viable melee option, because their foot, like, it's named on their data sheet already. And now their foot options are showing those knives. I think that'd be really cool if we gave Pioneers an actual little melee. It doesn't have to be a crazy like attacks. Like, even if it still attacks, two attacks, but like strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage. That would be awesome, dude. That would be insane.
Even for these, because our normal plasma knife doesn't even have AP, right? So even if these
were like the kin melee, not kin melee.
But like, even if these special like plasma, they almost look like short swords. I know they are.
They do. They look like actually good like size.
They look like swords.
Yeah.
So I feel like even if they just gave these guys AP 1 swords, 2 or 3 attacks each, right? And they have shotguns to go with them. Yeah. That's an awesome little scouting or infiltrating unit for us to have as a unit of 5, especially if you get some kind of demo cache like we're seeing one of these models have. You occasionally get like one unit that you can just plink a fire off with. That's great. Because they're not going to have less defensive stats than a warrior. We can see that they're wearing the same. It's just a warrior with a coat on.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be that awesome T5, 1 wound base. Your sergeant's probably going to have 2. So if we can get that for a decent point value, you're talking 60, 65 points for 5 guys that can just infiltrate out there, help us move block, do something great, give me a token. That's a good little unit, man.
Dude, it'd be huge. Here's my suspicion is that they're going to be infiltrate and a scout based on the fact that they still are pioneers. I think of them as like Space Marine scouts, right? They get to infiltrate and scout. That would be, I think, huge. If they have shotguns, that means that these are assault. They can advance and do actions, or advance and shoot.
Yep.
If that's the case, I would die to take a 10-man with all the fixins if they have like these cool weapons and a demo charge, and then 2 5-mans. Like, I would die. I've already told like 3 Kill Team friends, like, I am splitting a box with you. Like, you. I want 30 at least, and I feel like I'd be happy. You know what I mean?
Trying to remember the stat line just offhand on the revolvers for our Hernkins. I'm pulling it up right now.
Their pistols or the shotguns?
Well, so they have the revolver. Okay, the revolver's just strength 5, AP 1, which is, I think that's exactly what these are.
Wait, the revolver is wait. The revolver's AP 1?
I'm sorry, no AP. I was looking at the rotary. No, the revolver's AP 0, yeah.
I was like,
but the shotguns, 12-inch assault.
Yeah, 12-inch assault. Yep. Like, great.
501?
Yeah.
Like, this guy clearly has a shotgun and a sword. Like, if I have a unit that has assault and a potential decent melee weapon and it's 5 guys, that's an amazing unit for everything the game wants you to do.
Yes. It is something that is like sorely needed in this army, is something just like that, hopefully.
I can't emphasize it enough, but the best thing about it, They look good doing it too.
Dude,
God,
look
these guys look
good.
so
They
good.
look good. And it would be really nice too if this sniper has precision, which also we have not a single lick of precision as army. We have to do epic challenge. That's our only way we can do precision.
Yeah, the interesting thing, in the article, it still calls it a Magna Coil sniper rifle.
That is interesting, which gets me a little afraid because they really have nerfed the range of Magna Coil this edition. But hopefully, since it's a sniper rifle, it will have some distance.
Yeah, even if it doesn't, if they make it punchy enough, like if it's only like a 24-inch range, that would be wild. But with Scout and Infiltrate, that's workable, especially if it's still like strength 9 and it deals like 3 plus D3 damage. Okay, now we're talking. I can deal with less range because that thing's just like punching into tanks.
And you're gonna be close enough anyway. Like if you're able to infiltrate.
Exactly.
You're gonna be able to close that distance and hide fairly well. I'm so curious of this crossbow, dude. Like, what is the crossbow?
I want to know what it does.
I want to know. So it has to be a pistol, right? Like,
it clearly has like a 50 cal round in it. I have no idea. It's modeled on it.
It's so silly in the best way.
But the fact, we've been talking about it for a long time. Just like 5 guys with shotguns. I want to know what this crazy double melee one is going to be. I hope that's an option. This dude's going akimbo with 2 pistols.
Yeah,
I don't know why you'd ever do that, but it looks good.
Looks tight, dude. They look great. They look so good.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I'm excited. It has, even if we don't get these for a while, it has given me a little hopium. You know what I mean? Like breathing that in a little bit just because I think that's a good time to segue into, I don't want to speak for both of us, but I know that you're in the same boat. I have not been playing much Votann in the last, actually specifically the last month. And I haven't fallen out of love. Votann's still my favorite army, like no doubt. I just want them to succeed. I just want to play them. They're just in such a weird spot for me right now that I've been getting sad playing them, and I don't ever want to feel sad when I play with my plastic toys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want to enjoy my dollies, but I think a good thing that's important to remember, just for context for any of our listeners, the two of us have both been preparing for a large teams tournament. So we're both getting ready for the Battle for Salvation tournament in New York, coming up at the end of April, right before the start of May, which is several 8-man teams events. So the way that teams works go is that everyone on the team can only bring one faction. So you can't have multiple copies of the same faction running around at the same time.
Even to the point where if you have a chaos faction like Chaos Space Marines, you can't bring demons if someone else is bringing demons. That's how extreme it is for not doubling up.
Yeah, it's pretty restrictive. Or like if you have a couple Imperium guys, you got a Space Marine player and a Custodes player, you can't both have Calidus assassins. You know what I mean? So it's like that. And I think both of us, we were super strong. We're like, yeah, we're going to play Votann. We're really big on Votann. We love it. And then you get to the team event and you're like, actually, it's not like viable. You kind of can't build in that because Votann's pretty feast or famine at a competitive station. It does amazing against a bunch of builds, or rather it used to, and some of the changes in the recent data slate, like you're not going to be fighting 45 accursed cultists anymore. That's not really out there. And Votann feasted on that. And it's not to say that there aren't some people out there that are doing a phenomenal job with Votann, because there are. We have players like Sweet Lou, you got Danny, that are still doing very well whenever they play. But in a teams event like we've been focusing for, it's like, all right, well, we're going to take Ironstorm Marines, we're going to take Custodes, we're going to play Orcs, we're going to play Necrons. And then once you start going down the line, you're like, oh, actually, we don't need you. You're sidelined. So I sidelined. So I'm not actually playing anymore because I would rather one of the other more meta armies gets in there to kick some butt.
Yeah.
How did you adjust, Dom?
I was very fortunate. So hilariously enough, on Team Stat Check, there's like really good World Eaters players, and so I was like, damn, I'm gonna play Votann. I'm not gonna really have a good time because I'm gonna be like, just get probably thrown into not great matchups and feel bad about it. But then our captain Luke, who is one of those really good World Eaters players, like a main player, like, you know, him and Anthony Manella play all the time, like really good World Eater player. He's like, oh, why don't you do World Eaters? And I was like, wait, why wouldn't you do that? He's like, well, I'm doing Death Guard. Like that's like, you know, like that's the funny thing about teams players is like they're not married to shit, dude. They're just playing what needs to be played for the team, right? Like me, I'm like a one-trick pony. Well, I guess a two-trick pony now, but I don't have that like mental fortitude to just switch like that. Like good, that's what good players do. That would have been come to find out with, especially good teams players. They'll just like they know their playstyle and they're like, oh, I can't play this army. I'll play this army that is similar because that's the playstyle that I'm used to. Blah blah blah. And they're just like good like that.
Yep.
And I respect that. I think that's what makes a good Warhammer player: the ability to kind of like problem solve like that on the fly. That's kind of what it is in a way. So I've been fortunate enough that they're letting me play World Leaders. And it's funny because obviously World Leaders of Votann can't be any different in the sense of, faction playstyle, like Votann, very shooty, a little durable. World Leaders, there's no cowards phase in the World Leaders army. It's just all melee.
Aggression. You got to go for it.
But here's the funny thing I've been realizing, GP, is playing Votann in a massive scouting army has led me to be a better World Leaders player because there is a very key scout movement in the beginning that either is kind of feast or famine in the way of if you're getting a turn 1 charge or not, or you're getting a turn 2, like your turn 1 hide setting up for a turn 2 all in. And it's been really funny because that's what's been working for me is the fact that I have that kind of insight, because that's every time I would deploy Votann, I'd be deploying this. Okay, if I get turn 1, I get scout this way, either get a good bead on shooting or get a good beat on scoring. If I go second, I can get a good beat on hiding, so I'm not getting blasted or getting charged. And that's kind of what's led me to actually do World Leaders fairly well. So I'm very fortunate my team is allowing me, not allowing me, like
no, I get it.
You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I'm not being paid to do this shit. We're all just having fun. But
yeah,
it was, so I don't want to let anyone down. Regardless if we're just going for fun, like our war dudes are going like, I don't expect to win, but.
And not only that, but like you want to make concessions because there's 7 other people on your team.
Exactly.
8 if you count your coach. You want everybody to play what they're most comfortable with. So even on my team, on Team Battle for Salvation, we've been adjusting and people have been changing to be like, hey, I like this. This will work the best. A lot of people end up fitting into archetypes. You're trading armies around, basically. Yes. Hell, this Sunday we're going to play as a practice match with the team, and we're literally just spamming out as many reps with as many different armies as possible to get as much perspective as possible. So you want everybody to play what they're enjoying. And I think what you're mentioning there is a thing that I've noticed as well. So for anyone that's listened and you've followed along and you've ever played competitive Magic the Gathering or Magic the Gathering in general, you might have heard the terms before, but there are types of archetypes that people slot players into. You got Timmies, you got Spikes, you got all these different things that refer to play styles and the way that you play the game. I forgot about
those.
And dude, I've noticed, and you have control players, things like that, but with Warhammer, you don't typically have those. People tend to just define themselves by, I'm a Space Marines player.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's always right, because a lot of the times there's the way that you play. Are you being really cagey all the time? Is that what's best for you? And a thing that I think you and I have both fallen into and found is that for me, I'm hyper aggressive.
Yes.
So the way that I played my Votann, I played with a lot of bikes. I played with a lot of mixed melee with what I was doing. And I liked just pushing in. And that was always really fun. My other army, Chaos Knights, I'm pushing in. Yeah. I like to pressure you as much as possible. I got buddies that play Tau, and their whole thing is, well, I'm playing Kauyan. I'm going to wait until like turn 3-5, and then I'm going to kill you.
Dog.
I can't do that.
I'm dying. I'm dying. If I don't get turn 1 charging World Leaders, I'm like, well, that's not true. Turn 2 is still great, but you nail on the head, dude. I love being aggressive. And you know why I think that's why pre-Data Slate, it worked out for us, because we could just flood the board with more things.
Yeah.
Like losing a 6 Sagittar and 10 Warriors may not seem like a lot. And well, also, sorry, another brick of 10 fucking Hearthguard. How can I forget?
Yeah.
It really shifted it in a way that I can't play as aggressive as I want. And I'm not a very good KG player. Like it doesn't just really work for me. I try to do it and it just whiffs and it makes me a little sad.
It's exactly the same. I've tried to play the 3 land fort build, right? Where it's like, hey, you're playing this and you have to be super extra mega tactical about it. Can't do it. I'm not patient enough, I think. That's the thing for me. I want to just murder kill. Let's go.
And you know what also the problem is that the lack of consistency with Votann in terms of both of our native ballistic skill being 4 up, obviously 3 up with a token.
Sure.
But there's a lot of ways that gets mitigated or stopped or even worsened still, even with the token. And then also adding in the fact that we have a lot of D3 things, a lot of D6 things, a lot of things that are like, conversion, or like all of our beams being D6 damage. Like there are a lot of inconsistencies that make that KG play way more difficult because I can't rely on something dying
Yep.
in a manner that I need to happen for the game to go, because I just don't have the amount of things I have on the board to like guarantee that I can kill that thing.
And there's a double-edged sword, best worst to this too, because as soon as we get a codex, you get those options. Cronus is going to let you be super aggressive melee. Something like Ymir, that's probably going to let you have really good shooting. You're going to want to still play KG tactical, be really cerebral about what you're doing. GTL is going to be fantastic. You just want to be a walking thing of tanks. Cool. You're the green boys, the Ironi.
Yeah.
It's just, you're going to have all the options to turn this army of toolkits. Because let's be real, one of the best selling points of Votann is that it lets you customize so much. I'm not going to say it's as crazy as the amount of options you get from Space Marines, but if we just talk about Hearthkin Warriors, our basic troop, you can kit those out for full melee. You can kit them out for full range. You can do short range, long range. Are you going to do just focusing on this? You're going to use them for this strat? Are you going to split them up? That's just with one unit. When we start talking about our ability to add something like these new Jaegers, where I can be like, okay, these are going to be intentionally, before, we were talking about before all the time, using Suicide Warriors. If I can take 3 units of 5-man Jaegers for the price of 1.5 warriors that are doing that on purpose, where it's like, hey, literally just go in, charge, throw a grenade, and die.
Right.
Sick. You just did something awesome.
Great turn one behind enemy lines, maybe. Like, yeah, right.
Yeah, like there's some real potential out there. And it just stinks to know that it's gated out by the future. It's one of the things that gets a little hard sometimes in competitive 40K if you're trying to focus on that playing, is that you know that Games Workshop is going to stagger the releases. And I'll say it all the time, GW, if I got anyone from you listening, if you had sold every single codex at the release of 9th, in a bundle for like a grand or something, dude, I would have bought every codex all at once, every single one of them. I would have bought all of them. And then we would have gone, hey, this is great. Now just sell me like campaign books.
Yeah.
Every quarter. That updates things.
Do you think it's because they make more money with the staggering? But like, why? But in my head, it doesn't make sense that they would even make more money with staggering. I don't understand what it is about the staggering of it. Is it just to give them more time to write things? I just don't get it. I really don't understand.
No, because I think what we've seen with a lot of the releases with every single codex is I think they were all already made before 9th came out, because the points are always wrong. They're always like super duper wrong. The real test is going to be when the Eldar Codex comes out. Because if the Eldar Codex points in the book match up with what they were in the index craziness we had, they were all just done at the same time. I imagine it's for marketing purposes so they can hype up boxes to coincide with things, and that's how they get more money. But people are going to buy the boxes anyway.
I know.
You put cool stuff in it, we'll buy the cool thing. The rules don't all have to be in the codex. They come in the box with the model. It's fine. I download it. It's fine. I don't care. It's digital. You give me the code in the box for the model and let me just download it to the app. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's their method. It's what we're stuck with. Sometimes you swap around, and that's why both of us are playing World Leaders right now.
Well, and also, I think I was feeling kind of bummed at the way the games were going for me, especially because I was mostly just playing things in a team's mindset where if I can't win, don't lose bad, right?
Yeah. And
I was still losing bad. And also, it's not fair that I'm like, the people playing against are better than they have a right to be. So that also is a funny thing. Yeah. And so like when I'm in a TTS game practicing with my teammates and like literally Anthony Vanilla is like, why are you doing this? I'm like, oh my God, why are you, I appreciate your insight. I need help. Help me. I was feeling bad, but it has been nice to have like a breath of fresh air in a different army. Because it's not like I'm just crushing it. We're world leaders. Like I'm not out here like, oh my God, I won every single game I played. But it is just like a different feeling. There's not much pressure now.
Sure.
It definitely is like a different level of I don't know. The pressure's been lifted and it's a good feeling. I will say after BFS, I probably will go back to Votann. Like I might do that for like ACO or something.
Yeah. It's why we echoed it in our last few episodes, but have more than one army. And I know that's a really privileged position to take, first of all, to say, hey, just take an extra $1,000 and play something. But even if you're playing it online, like we said with TTS, there are other resources, or just learn about another army. If you have something else that you can follow along with, because like I follow Custodes, I watch all of the Art of War videos that come out for them. I think it's really cool to know Custodes. I love the idea of them, painting them. I do not own the army.
Yeah.
I don't have it. But I watch all the updates, and it gives me that little separation, right? Where I can just have that escapism from my thing and just think about something else. I'll never do that with orcs, like ever. But it's good to have the differences sometimes, so you can just kind of, look at the world from another perspective.
No, truly. I have a friend who it's funny. He's played orcs since like 2nd edition. It's the only army he's like ever really played. And for him, it works because he has made that like mindset work for a singular army, and they have like 1,000 models. So you could switch things easily. It is harder for armies like this where we don't have that range, right? Maybe come the Codex when we get like the Sisters treatment, when a million other models came out for like Sisters. And that's kind of how like that went from their initial release to then when they got the refresh, the update. So maybe like come then it'll be that same vein where I could just play Votann for like the rest of my life because I have the options to, like pivot things. But I do think that there is a level of like learning the game better from playing a different style of army. Even though I'm playing, like I play aggressively, so I was playing Votann the same way I'm playing World Eaters, and they only are aggressive, right? I do think there is a level of like expansion of your thinking of the game when you are trying a different thing. And also like it is very nice that as World Eaters I could beat the armies I couldn't beat as Votann. It is a very nice switch. Like I'm playing against Necrons.
But the benefit of it is that your games are fast. So it's like, hey, I'm either gonna like win in an hour or lose in an hour, but then I'm gonna like watch a couple other games. That's one of the things I like about Chaos Knights. I never go to time, baby. It's fine. We don't gotta care. You're either gonna blow me up or I'm hunting you down.
Truly. God, talk about another cool army. I would love to play Chaos Knights. Chaos Knights are cool as shit, dude.
They're fun.
The problem is, I know that actually, I want a conversation of meta. If you look at most of the meta Chaos Knights list right now, you're looking at like 13 War Dogs or something. Like that's like the right. See, for me, I want to play with big boys. Yeah. And that just doesn't really jive, I think, and that's, I think, again, when you're looking at armies with small unit counts, it is difficult when there only really is like one or two ways to play that army, right?
It's funny you mention that, because I have a list that I use a big boy. I use the Castigator, the like Forge World one, the Horus Heresy one now, I guess, because they're plastic. It's the one that has the sword and the gun, because it gives them a really cool ability. It has an aura that any of your doggies around it, if they're within 6 inches, they get sustained hits.
That's cool.
So I have a list where I run that. I run 5 of the Brigands, which are the really good shooting ones, and then I run 5 Executioners. And then they're all just around it. Every single one of my War Dogs just shoots. If I can see you, it's dead. Something like 272 shots, like on average, just per turn, like half of them
possible
are indirect,
to live. Yeah.
Just exploding.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's cool. See, and like that is also, I think there are these little shifts too. Like when there is a meta that is set, you see a lot of times people will like come up with something different, like a little, like that skews it just a little bit. And it really works because people are usually in the mindset like, oh, you're playing that army, you're only going to play that. I know I can beat it. And then they show up and it's like, oh, well, here's like this little different twist on it. I'm still doing mostly the same thing. Here's just a little twist, Yeah. I think like when you look at some people that take like a Grimnir, for instance, over an Iron Master or like a solo or like a solo champ or, or Uthar or whatever, it throws in a little bit of like differential like thinking there that kind of can throw people off. Like, oh, you're taking a solo Iron Master, you're gonna try to like score with it, maybe try to heal with it, but it's like, oh, I'm taking a solo Grimnir. It's like, what are you doing? Are you putting with warriors? Are you doing so it is kind of like a little throw off there in some ways.
My favorite example of that is right now in the meta.
What's that?
So it's, of all factions, it's Black Templars. But they have a build they can do, and tell me if you've seen this one. Or if anyone else has seen it in the comments, let me know, because it's really niche. But I think it catches everyone off guard, because you never expect it, especially in teams. But you play Black Templars, you can bring 5 Repulsor Executioners.
Yes, I love it. With the firing deck with Meltas and everything.
Yeah.
And you bring like the 4 Black Templars tanks that all have Meltas, and dude.
Because you can take 3 Black Templar Executioners, and then you can take 3 normal ones.
Dude.
You only take 5 because they fit. But it's like, well, every other Iron Storm list can only have 3.
Yes.
And you just go, no, I'm Black Templars. I got like 5.
Dude. So it's this. Are we like this? It's so fucking hilarious you say that, because we have a Black Templars player on our list, but he's doing, Redeemer, Sword Brethren, sure. Crusader. Like
they're so good.
Great. I love the Iron Storm list though. I love it. It's so good. The Crusaders and the Repulsors with the firing deck with the Meltas. Yeah, I think they take like 3 Black Templars Executioner, the 2 regular Executioners. Crazy shooting. The Tech Marine, the Infiltrators with the Phobos Librarian.
Kill that. Congrats. Here's more Melta guns inside.
Dude, it is so good. It's so fun. It's crazy. It's so, dude. I was like, I want to play that list.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are things that you can build that are so meta adjacent almost that people don't expect.
That shit melts. Because and that's the funny thing. You go into a tournament. Round 2, like, I'm playing Black Templars. I know I crush Marines. And they show up with the most shooty Black Templars list you've ever seen. You're like, oh, shit, that sucks.
Yep, so all the pre-thought you had going into the game, you're like, all right, I'm going to do this. He's probably going to have these units. We're going to do that. And then you're like, oh, God.
Yes.
My entire perception of how I play is wrong. It's the same as the World Eaters player that went 6-0 with 3 Mauler Fiends and 2 Forge Fiends. What is this madman?
What an asshole. I love it. I do love it. It's awesome. Yeah. I mean,
there was a list going around, or now the other new thing with World Eaters, for any that are listening, is Lords of Skulls. People are just taking like 2 or 3 Lords of Skulls.
Not done yet.
You're building one right now.
Yeah. I mean,
how many are you building though? Just the one?
Just one, dude. They're expensive.
$450, right? Points?
No. I'm sorry. I mean dollars. They're like $150 or $100.
We play Warhammer. You find a way.
Truly. No, they are like $450. But that's the thing, is some people are taking it because it is a better favorite of corn now than favorite of corn is, because the rule is like, for every unit this model killed in the previous turn, add or -1 to a Blessings of Corn roll. Do you know how good that is? That is is hilariously good. I just wish it was cheaper. I do wish it was cheaper. I would actually take it in like a real turn. I'm only gonna play it in like for the memes, but what a hilarious and good.
I don't know. Jack Harpster is doing pretty good with it, so who knows?
Yeah, I really do. Here's the problem though: is that model does have a 10-inch move, which is great. But when you account for pivoting, that shit is going to be difficult to move, and it will be easy to hide. I think when he first played it, it caught people off guard. I don't think it would keep working after that in bigger tournaments. I think it's, and I say this also because I think I said this before with Votann. Votann right now are in like what, 50% is like the overall win rate. I think
super even. Yeah,
it's like right in the middle, and I think that's a great place to be. It really is. Yeah. I think, literally 50% straight
really
up.
Hammer home for anyone. There's nothing wrong with Votann right now. It's objectively doing fine.
Yeah.
It's just no different than it's been for the last 12 months. Just other than you have less stuff again.
Yes. And I do account that the early and 10th after the data slate wins just came from people weren't ready for 6 Sagittars in your face. They weren't ready for 18 bikes in your face.
Yep.
And now people are like, oh, you're playing Votann? Here is 1 squad of Nurglings. Your whole thing falls apart. And you're like, oh, damn, that's, you know what I mean? Like, so,
and it's because that same strategy to block off all that infiltrating. So many armies now have scouting infiltrating units. All of town now, they're probably going to have some carnivores or some stealth suits. They're going to be pushing out there, especially with retaliation cadre being able to give them bonuses if you kill them. Yeah. It's doing what they want. They're blocking you and doing it. Yeah. Eldar are doing the same thing with Rangers now.
Yep.
All the armies are taking something to block you out of the way.
Yes.
Because they're just giving it to everyone.
Yep.
So you
Space
can't
Marine Scouts,
the same way
Demons, Nurglings, or not the Hounds, but Nurglings. I mean, there's just
Scouts.
Yeah, there's so many ways to stop our one-trick pony.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Which I still love it though. I have a 3 land fort 6 Sagittar list still that I think is really fun.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing is, I think what keeps me going and wanting to play them is just the fact that I think aesthetically they're still my favorite looking army.
Without a doubt.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's become such a staple for me with Votann stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like I just want to be like the Votann guy, and that is the only bummer I have for playing another army right now. I feel like I am doing dirty to my boys, but I'll be back. It ain't no thing.
That's the thing. We're just building our book of grudges, brother.
Truly.
We're finding more reasons to be mad when we get back. And
Right.
ironically for us, we're getting angry playing World Eaters to get even angrier with our dwarves.
Exactly.
I think a cool thing to do, right? So we've seen the Jaegers, right? So we know we're getting those. On the topic of things and how things haven't changed, what do you want to see, right? Do you have any units that you're hoping we see in the next few months or when the Codex comes out?
I gotta let my cat in. She's mad.
No, you're fine. I'll start off with mine. So I know in the book we've seen a plane, and I know I've mentioned this before, at least in one episode. I don't want a plane.
I don't want a plane. I don't want a plane. I don't want an aircraft.
I don't want any of them. You can give me a flying unit that like has fly and does stuff or like hovers. I don't want a plane. I don't want any planes in 40K. They shouldn't exist. I don't want it.
Nope.
It's even now when you play, the only planes you see right now are like Storm Ravens because you can make them kind of nutty in Ironstorm.
Yes, that's such a funny point to bring up. Yes.
I don't want planes. They're all either too good or terrible. It's never like, yeah, you can take a plane. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't want a plane. Agreed. I can't agree with you anymore on something. I don't want a plane. Don't waste the points. Don't waste the plastic. Don't waste the time on it. Don't give me a plane.
I want a Hernkin character. Give me a dude on a huge, beefy bike that's like leading them somehow. Make it like a Catacomb command barge, right? Where it's got like two dudes in the back or something. Just
maybe it's a quad or something, like a big ass quad of some way. Cool. I don't know. Yeah, that
would be cool. I really want to see us get some kind of artillery piece because it makes sense. Doesn't necessarily have to be like a cannon, right? It could shoot laser beams for all I care. Make it a cool thing like that. I want us to get a berserker character of some
so
kind.
bad. Give me either reroll charges, maybe give me something like a native fight on death. I don't know, something along those lines I think would be huge. Agreed.
You ready for my distinction though on my berserker character? If I'm wishlisting, if they give GP the reins to control it, he's a lone op. Make him a slayer.
Okay.
Make him a slayer. His whole thing, for some reason in the lore, because we don't have any slayers in 40K, they exist in Age of Sigmar. His whole thing is he's like getting redemption, or he has one sole duty. And his whole thing is there as a berserker is he's out there when they got the big rock. Right. He's there to smash the big rock. Let him be a lone op. Let him run off. Let him crush stuff. It's how we've been using Iron Here champions. Yeah. I doubt they want us to use them that way, but we need some kind of cool lone op character. I think for us, don't let him have a gun. Give him stealth. Give him lone op. Make him weirdly fast, and give him a bajillion attacks.
Sure. Maybe like someone. Since Berserks rather, sorry, I'm playing too much corn. Since Berserks have the cyber stim deal, maybe like he can advance and charge, but he deals mortals to himself or something along those lines. Like, cause like the cyber, I don't know, something that would be really cool.
Let him advance and charge, but next turn he can't move.
Yeah. Something weird. Yeah. I agree.
Or he gets like cut in half next turn. Let him just get cracked.
Right.
I want to see him go.
Or he's kind of like Karn. Like if he doesn't end in engagement range of a model, he does mortals or something.
Yeah, like after you use the rule, if he's not in engagement, he takes like
at the end of the charge phase. Yep, that would be cool. Yeah, that's part of his like cyber stim thing. That would be really cool.
It's fluffy.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I know I had. Oh, I'd like a Dreadnought adjacent style unit.
I think that has to happen, right? We have to get some kind of Dreadnought.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like a unit of Hearthguard or anything like that. It doesn't have to be another tank. Make it bipedal. I don't care. You can make it like a robot, but I want like a medium vehicle. I want it to be like in a unit of 3, like 1 to 3, kind of like a Killacan.
Sure, that's fair.
I hesitate to ever compliment an orc, but like a unit like that I can just throw guns on and just build a turret. Sounds fun.
It's not a hot take per se. My kind of skew want is I would love a siege drill transport that allows you to come up within 3 inches.
Yeah.
I think something like that would be huge.
Now, do you want it to work like the Forge World Thermite drill where it also can like do a really cool charge?
Yes. It should. It should. We're a subterranean people. We mine, we dig. Like it should be more expensive. It should definitely be expensive so it has a rule you come up in 3. You probably can't charge when you do that, but you can disembark. I would like, But if you come up regularly, you could do like a crazy charge, I would say.
Let it be like a Moloch too. When it comes up, splash damage.
Oh, sure. Yeah, dude. If you do, maybe if you come within 3, is there a cat going crazy?
Yeah, one of them.
I thought I heard a meow. And now my cat is, she's just like getting up and pushing right now. Yeah, if you come up within 3, it could do some mortals, but you can't charge. But if you come within 9, no mortals, but you can charge or something like that. I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yep.
Dude, I want that. Give me it.
Just sounds good. Here, hold on. My turn to step away. You keep talking about if there's any other one.
Yeah, well, I think you actually kind of nailed it of the things. I want the Fire Slayer choice is interesting. Maybe it will be 2 different Berserk kind of.
Sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Aren't cats just dude? Cats are the best. Polly, come on up.
Just anything, really. I want to see just more options. Let me build into other things. Now it's just cat time.
It's just cats. What do you think, Paul? She's rubbing her face on my mic.
Nice.
I think that's the perfect time. Kat, sign us out. What do you got to say, Paulie?
What do you guys think?
What do you got to say to the world?
What do you think, buddy? Is it time? Do we want more dwarves?
Give us more dwarves, GW.
All right, go yell at your birds.
With that, thank you, everyone. Sorry, it's been a bit, but the boys are busy, and that's okay. I think when I hit up you,
we're busy being corporate overlords.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me. No, it's okay. Thank you everyone so much for hanging out. Please in the comments give us an idea of what you're looking forward to. Let us know how you feel about the new Yaegir models and just say hey. Just remind us you're there because we love you.
Cats.
Tell us how much you like our cat. Exactly. Oh,
it's all that matters. We're just a bunch of cat dads at the end of the day.
Truly. Oh, also, please don't forget, there will be a link in the show description, but join the Leagues of Votann Discord, where you will always find us in there chatting with the people. It's a very bustling community. Everyone's always hanging out and chatting what they got going on. We've got I know every faction probably has a great community, but we have a really nice community. A lot of really great people in there that are throwing around really nice ideas and meeting each other up at tournaments and just hanging out, just vibing.
And as I mentioned at the start, give Sweet Lou some love.
Yes.
Some love.
Lone Star Hammered. It's so funny. I love that dude.
All right, folks. Thanks for coming. Press the buttons. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.